Aloha, my friends. I decided to bring you all down to this beautiful, wild waterway that I am blessed to be close to every day in beautiful California in the redwood forest. And it's such a powerful time to connect with water. If you've seen my last video, then you'll know I actually had someone comment that it was a Neptunian mermoon. So the moon was in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces yesterday. And wow, such an incredible activation of the waters, of the energy of water. And simultaneously we have the planet Mercury moving into Cancer yesterday. Cancer being another water sign. So Pisces and Cancer, two of the water signs, there's three. Scorpio being the third. Pisces is all about intuition, spirituality, being a conduit, right? Being an open divine conduit for the higher heavenly realms to come through us and then transmit out through whatever medium our heart speaks through, whether it's music or art or yoga or tai chi or dance. Pisces is the divine conduit, and they say it's two fishes that represent one fish, one part of the Piscean energy swimming through the material dimension and one part swimming in the higher realms, right? And so Pisces can be simultaneously very invigorating for our imagination and also potentially put us into a very dreamy state where being grounded or focused can be challenging. And so what's happening today, the next day, July 9th, is that we have the moon moving away from Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, and into contact directly with Chiron, the Wounded Healer. And what is the Wounded Healer? Chiron is an asteroid, and I've been studying asteroids for 6 years now, maybe 10 actually. I think I found my first book on asteroids in San Francisco when I lived near Dolores Park, an absolutely beautiful place if you've ever been there. Anyways, this book taught me about what are called the asteroid goddesses, and it said that these asteroids were like ways in which we're being reconnected back to the divine feminine presence, which seems very appropriate with Neptune going, I apologize, the North Node, the karmic destiny point, going into Pisces, a feminine yin sign, this year being a water yin year and a 7-year numerologically, which all relates to Pisces and Neptune, which is a yin watery energy. Okay, so I came down to the water and I have my feet in the water because the part of the body that Pisces rules is the feet. So are you having any issues with your feet currently? Because when Pisces is accentuated, that can be one of the challenges we deal with, or we just might be more aware of our feet right now. I personally love putting my feet in the water. It's very grounding. It can help reset your energy and your vibration back to your set point, your center. And so tonight, the moon, still in Pisces, is with Chiron. And so what is Chiron? I think I did a shorter video recently about it, and it's all about the place in us, the greatest wound, right? And the greatest wound is, I'm getting choked up. It's where we've been hurt the deepest, okay? It could be manifesting or could have manifested as a childhood or early life trauma, something that happened to you. And some people say, okay, well, is it past life trauma or is it an early life trauma? Well, the interesting thing about early life traumas, especially traumas that have happened while we're babies or toddlers or young children, is that it generally relates to a past life that we have come in with to heal. And so when the moon is with Chiron, moon represents emotion, it represents intuition, it represents childhood, nurturing, our relationship to our mom, our relationship to nurturing in general. And what we need, wherever our moon is in our chart, represents what we need to feel nurtured, what we need to feel very supported and cared for and loved, okay? And it is also where our early childhood conditioning gets coded. So whatever moon sign we have by house and sign can tell us a lot about, well, what was our conditioning as children around what do we have to be and do to receive love, okay? And so the moon really relates to emotion and love and what we need to feel loved and what we feel on a deep level we think we need to do or be or become in order to be loved. And you know, when you, at the end of the day, most of our challenges or early traumas relate to love and the sense that we need to get love or we have to be a certain way to be loved, which on a truly deeply profound level is an illusion. Because love is the primal vibratory state of the universe. It is literally our frequency when we come through. If you meet a baby who's just been loved and cared for, they are pure love. And the only reason we don't vibrate at that frequency at times is because of our conditioning, which can relate to the moon, and the ways in which we felt that we needed to do things differently in order to be loved. And yet, I want to just really bring that message to you tonight if you are having emotional stuff coming up, because the moon with Chiron can be deep, because Chiron represents our deepest wound, and it's in Pisces. And so the deepest wound that might be being triggered by the moon being conjuncted, emotionally being brought to light in Pisces, is the wound around our psychic abilities, around our connection to source, around our connection to our own psychic abilities, our sensitivity. So if you were a child, let's say, who is extremely sensitive, or psychic, how did your family, how did your mom especially relate and react to your powers and your abilities and your connection to the spiritual, right? And so I just want to get you some more water. There we go. And so Pisces is water. And what does water do? It flows. And it doesn't necessarily follow a linear path, and yet it is so powerful that it could literally wash through here and clear out every rock and send it to the ocean, right? Like, water has such extreme power. I watched this creek specifically over the winter fill up almost to the top and just have huge limbs of trees moving down it. And so here we sit during the summer in this peaceful water, and yet water has a capacity to be extremely powerful, right? Just like it is yin, it is feminine. Feminine may have been portrayed as weaker than for thousands of years, but any mom who's given birth knows that the power of the feminine is really profound, okay? And so we're being asked, we're kind of being taught this year with the North Node destiny point being in Pisces to expand into our capacity intuitively, emotionally, spiritually, to tap into our inner guidance, to tune into the inner yin, our feminine, our power of creation, of stillness, of connection to something profoundly beautiful and powerful that flows through us. It cannot be captured. It cannot be stolen or taken away. It is eternal. You know, there's a beautiful quote. When I was living in San Francisco, going to various yoga teacher trainings, and I was actually having a really difficult day. I was like in the dark night of the soul, and I looked down on the ground, and there was a yoga chant, right, in Sanskrit. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya. I can't believe I remember it. And this chant relates to the idea, Om Namah Shivaya, I pay tribute to the great teacher, Gurave, Guru, that lives within me as truth, beauty, and bliss. and whose presence is never absent and is always full of peace, sparkling and shining like the smile of a child or a jewel, like just glimmering. And this quote just got baked deep into my being, that no matter what we're going through, no matter what challenges are arising, and if you're someone who's having this moon, this lunar emotional activation of perhaps something that feels sensitive within you, something related to your sensitivity, something related to your connection to your emotion, something related to your artistry, something tender, right? Emotion, tender, and Chiron being a wound that we have within us. Pisces being arts, music, spirituality, soul. And I really want to invite you to remind you to tap in and tune in with me to the feeling and vibration of the oneness that is always present. And that is really where Pisces is leading us and guiding us to. Like the creek is flowing, and all creeks and rivers flow down to the river and then to the ocean, into the one body, the one great vibrant body of water, the oneness. So as souls are we on that journey as well. And I just wanted to come to you with this offering of love and encouragement. If you are feeling sensitive, with Mercury being in Cancer, Mercury being our thought, how we think, our mind, with the moon being in Pisces, water, with Chiron being in water, and at the same time having a challenging planetary debate between Saturn and Mars tonight, and Pluto and Mercury. Pluto being depth and transformation, Saturn being restriction, Mercury being communication, and Mars being action. We could be feeling like deeply emotional, that's the Chiron with the moon, finding our ability to communicate being more emotional than usual, that's Mercury in Cancer. And then our Mars energy, Leo, I want to shine bright, I want to express myself into the world, opposing Saturn, which can be discipline, structure, could mean simultaneously either you're actually being allowed to achieve your success, you've worked really hard and that Saturn energy is stabilizing your energy to act, or the universe is saying you have more work to do, Saturn, on how you act and use your energy in the world, which could mean slowdowns, resets, reevaluations. And then Pluto to Mercury being depth, intensity, buried secrets, being opposite Mercury, how we communicate, meaning that we could potentially either have some kind of deep awareness from within our deepest layers, that's Pluto, affecting our thought, our ability to think and communicate, that's Mercury, how we express ourselves. Or we might have some amazing epiphany about something that's affected us on the deepest levels. And there's a tension whenever we have two planets polarizing, Saturn to Mars and Pluto to Mercury, engaged in this pressurization along with our sensitivity, our emotion, with Chiron, this deep wounded healer. I don't know, how are you feeling out there? What I've been able to realize is that no matter what's happening planetarily, when it is even the biggest squeeze and the most planetary activities, I read an article last night about the power of ether, and that ether is the energy that occupies space, and it's the energy that I think is part of what is called the Akashic realm. And I also think of it as prana, just energy. It's the space where earth, fire, water, air are the four elements. Ether is the fifth element. Where am I going with this? Well, ether, I've been researching it. They say that because there's not as much ether right now, maybe there used to be more, we're at effect because of the planetary bodies. We're at effect by what they're doing, how their vibrations are ping-ponging across the sky there, and then affecting us physiologically and energetically. And so what I've found is if things are happening planetarily. Have you ever noticed sometimes it doesn't affect you? You're happy, you're doing great, and then other times it does? Well, I think it has to do with our prana, our energy, our connection to our breath, our connection to how we feel with our energy. And they just got darker. And so I really want to invite you to, if you have a spiritual practice, if you have a breathwork practice, really engage that, because you can actually learn how to rise out of the effect of the planetary bodies. More and more, the more you connect to your own spiritual source prana, you become stronger than the effect of the planets. So the way to think about it, I feel, is to imagine the planets exerting a vibratory frequency and us holding a frequency. And when the planetary frequency is stronger than our frequency, we're affected. It's kind of like a bigger person coming and pushing us. Whereas if we keep building our energy field, and there's ways to do this, you can message me if you have questions through yoga and diet and exercise. Grounding to the earth is one way that's very powerful. Recalibrating your energy centers. Doing something called thought field therapy, or balancing your meridians through tapping, getting acupuncture. There's so many ways to strengthen your energetic field and increase your ether, increase the space. And the more you have, I think the less at effect you are to these planetary movements. So that is what I wanted to share with you tonight. And I just want to say big ups to all of my new subscribers. Welcome to my channel. I am Lotus Dawn. I am a 13 sign astrologer. I am a psychic healer, energy activator, and I love to bring you the most up-to-date messages from Source through my heart to you, connecting to nature, to assist us in the world to connect back more to the heart, more to nature, more to love. And I just want to send you all so much love out there. I hope you get a chance to connect to the earth, to your breath, to love. Have a beautiful bath with that moon and Pisces energy. And trust me, it's going to be changing a lot as the moon goes into Aries in the next couple days. Other big stuff approaching. So take this moment, breathe, rest, relax, receive, and you got this. I am going to be offering a special of, if you'd like to work with me further, and $1 a minute per sessions. Or if you would have any questions, just reach out. I'm happy to share more information. I send you love. Have a beautiful night. Feel the gift, feel the blessing you are. Aloha.